Greetings, everyone. This is Mar, and once again, this is my opinion. As you can tell from up there, it's another episode of First Impressions, the video series where I give my first thoughts on a bunch of random stuff, usually films, TV shows, occasionally books, but I rarely do that under this moniker. Today, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on two episodes that recently aired of Steven Universe. While the title only lists one of them, I will briefly give my thoughts on the other one. The two episodes are Can't Go Back, which is an episode that focuses mainly on Lapis, and A Single Pale Rose. Now, everyone in the Steven Universe fandom is abuzz about these episodes, mainly the second one. But there is at least one incident in the first one that people are mentioning. Now, I will talk about this in order. Can't Go Back, it's not a filler episode, but it's what I would like to call a subplot episode, to where most of the events in it connect to a subplot within the overarching series instead of focusing on the main plot. But it does connect a little bit to the main plot since it does involve the diamonds and then possibly coming to Earth. Deals with Lapis's fears. We finally get to see her sing, which when I heard the rumors of that before I actually watched the episodes, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be nice. And Lapis's voice actress, she conveyed the song pretty well. The emotion, the tone, everything. I'm like, oh, this is good. I just love it when we finally hear characters that haven't sang in the series sing, because shows why one of the reasons they were cast, because apparently Rebecca Sugar does it based on the singing voice in addition to the acting. And it's just a nice little moment. Now, there's one thing about the song I gotta mention, is that there's a couple moments that I'm sure the shipping community is going to go into overdrive. One moment kind of leans in the Lapis Steven category, but the rest of it, when combined with how shots were done, seems to point towards Lapidot. But you could also look at it in a platonic sense, but I know some of the shippers are going to be like, oh, just something I have to note. Now, the episode does deal with Lapis's insecurities, her fear, and the fact that she's by herself, but she doesn't want to be alone. One thing about her character that's interesting is that she feels she's alone. She's with friends, but she doesn't have the courage right now to go back, which I have a feeling that her future arc is going to be her swallowing her pride and coming back. But in the end, when Steven reveals he had another diamond dream, she flips her shit and runs. She decides to run because she doesn't want to risk the diamond's wrath, which is sad because she's running from her friends again, but you understand her reasoning because she doesn't want to be put in danger anymore. She's still suffering from PTSD, both from her little trauma with Jasper and what happened to her in the distant past. Now, the diamond dream is where the main plot is shown in this episode. Steven has another one where he has another vision of Pink Diamond talking with Yellow and Blue. Unlike the previous one where it was more of a memory from her perspective, this one seems to be watching from an outsider's perspective, and he sees that it's after Pink already has a colony. Blue is basically telling her, you begged for a colony and now you want to retreat just because you can't handle it? This is not exactly how she puts it, but it's the gist. You just got to wave and your gems will fall in line. We trust you, Pink. Now, that alone would have been a nice little reveal for the end of the episode because it shows that Steven is continuing to have these dreams, but what happens next is what really leads into the next episode. It's like, ooh, oh, the plot thickens. And that is, Pearl shows up with Rose's sword. It's in silhouette, so you have to tell by the outline that it's Pearl and it's Rose's sword. It's like, oh no, is this hinting what I think it's hinting? We've all heard the stories in previous episodes and all throughout the show that Rose Quartz shattered Pink Diamond, apparently with her sword, which we know is impossible because, according to Bismuth, the sword's forger, it cannot shatter gems. And then, now this is like, Rose didn't do it. Pearl did it. Which leads to Steven confronting Pearl in the next episode over it. And from the get-go, you could tell there's something about it Pearl doesn't want to talk about, because she's like, so instead of talking to Steven directly, she sends him into her gem, supposedly to get her phone, but you know, the part of her is probably saying, I can't talk about this, but I can show him. And so Steven has to go inside Pearl and keep going through layer of her, going through her repressed memories until he finds the truth. And this is an interesting episode because we see the different levels of repression and the different layers of Pearl. The outer one, the most sane one, the most chipper one is where she keeps all of her normal stuff, her spears, among other things. She keeps going through layer. There's one that's still feeling the guilt over Rose's death. There's one that's dealing with the PTSD from the war. And then we finally get to the one that Steven has to go to. This is where we get a double whammy. One, Pearl was the one that apparently did shatter Pink Diamond in the guise of Rose Quartz. But the kicker is she didn't actually shatter Pink Diamond. Which this ties in with something that had been hinted at for a while, mainly with the Your Mother and Mine episode, and that was Steven thinking that Pink was still out there. Mainly because of how the Diamond dreams are popping up. Because he only had Diamond emotions before when he was in the vicinity of one. Mainly, you know, crying Blue's tears when she was on Earth. And then, of course, maybe having the Diamond dream before because he was on a planet that was strong with Diamond emotion. But the ending of this episode reveals a little bit more about that, but I won't jump the gun. Then we get another memory where the big bombshell of this double-parter is revealed, and that was Pink Diamond wasn't just not shattered. Pink Diamond is not who we thought she was. Pink Diamond was really Rose Quartz. Rose is Pink Diamond. Now, I knew about this fan theory regarding that for a while, but I didn't know if it was going to be true or not. I didn't care one way or another. But I noticed that some people in the community are, you know, flipping tables over because of it, thinking it ruins part of the mythology of the series, ruins some of the stuff. Which I can understand why they would think that, but I don't agree with it. This is just another one of those revelations where it questions stuff that we thought we knew before and shows it wasn't the truth. An example of this would be Darth Vader being Luke's father. That one, of course, arises more retroactively from Lucas developing the mythology as he went along instead of having it all on his mind at the beginning. Another one, of course, is the whole Robert's Rebellion being built on a lie from A Song of Ice and Fire. Now, depending on how you view that, since the series in the books hasn't ended, is going to depend on which way you look at that. But if you go by the show's interpretation, it's that Rhaegar and Lyanna were in love, and R plus L equals J. Now, here we find out that Rose was pink, and that everything about the war, we now see everything. The whole thing about gems in their places. A diamond was the one who started all this, which this is going to have major ramifications because it's a diamond who was questioning everything, not a quartz. Rose / Pink faked her death in order to try to give the world to the crystal gems. As she put it, this is Pink Diamond's colony. The others didn't care, thinking that her quote-unquote sisters will not flip their lid and try to do something, which, as we see in the previous flashback, they did. They're the ones that corrupted most of the gems, and she was only able to save a couple of her friends, which the revelation of her being a diamond, it makes sense why she was able to save some of them. A diamond attack, repelling a diamond attack. Although, since it was an attack from 3 diamonds on 1, it shows, wow, her shield must be strong. And of course, this makes all of Rose / Steven's abilities make a lot more sense. His healing powers, his shield, among other things. Also makes Rose's fusion with Pearl make a lot more sense design-wise. I'm like, oh, so it's technically Rainbow Diamond instead of Rainbow Quartz. Huh. So the shape and design make a lot more sense. Smoky Quartz now is Smoky Diamond. And of course, the thing I haven't mentioned yet, which of course is the obvious, since Rose was Pink Diamond, that means that Steven is Pink Diamond. Which is a little bit of dark comedic sense. Blue has been mourning for thousands of years for someone who's not even dead. I know I shouldn't be laughing at that, but I find that humorous in a dark sense. Which, of course, because of the little clip that was leaked showing blue and yellow on Earth, along with Bismuth out of her bubble, makes me wonder how the show is going to go after this. Are the diamonds actually going to make peace with this? If so, I think yellow will probably be a little different, if not a little ticked. Blue, I could see being a little overly emotional with it. Oh, Pink, I thought you were all gone. Well, we'll just see how it goes from there. Now, another thing which I could see why people are questioning this with the revelation is that it shows that to a point, Pink was unbearably naive because she thought the diamonds weren't going to do anything, which I mentioned. She was wrong there. And in her decision, it caused a lot of deaths, both on the diamond side and on her side. Well, she lived with them. If anything, this shows that she is a well-rounded, flawed character. I mean, we all thought she was picture perfect before, but now we see that she was incredibly flawed. And, of course, this also ties in with something that Greg said about her. Rose always did what she wanted. We see it goes back that far. And this also ties in a little bit with how we saw her in the first Diamond Dream, where she seemed to be a little childish. Here she seems a little bit more mature, but a little bit of that childishness is still there. It's just tempered a little bit. And of course here we also see a little bit of the beginning of the Rose-Pearl relationship, because Pearl does blush at one moment, so that's probably the beginning of her feelings for Pink in a romantic sense, which of course this adds a new little spin to it that she was in love with a diamond. Wow. And it also makes a lot of Pearl's lines in the earlier episodes make a lot more sense, like her reaction to finding out about Lion. She would have told me! She never hid anything from me! Well, now with this revelation, it makes sense why. Because Pearl was the only person that knew the truth. And her reaction when Steven comes out, when she's crying and she only has to say one sentence and it's more than enough. I've wanted to tell you for so long. But Pink's last command as a diamond was that they will never speak of this again. And that explains Pearl's reactions at the beginning of the episode, because she can't. Now, whether this is because it was a command from her diamond, and since she's her Pearl, there's something hardwired into her that would prevent her from saying anything, it's an interesting little thing to think over. Or maybe she's just that loyal to Pink that she, even though she is technically talking to Pink's son, who is Pink retroactively because has the diamond, that's going to come in that. And then, of course, the ending part when Garnet and Amethyst here, just Amethyst going, what? And then the episode ends and then goes into its little trailer. It's like, ooh. And what they show the next episode is going to deal with, like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. Amethyst still shocked. Garnet shocked to the point where she splits her fusion. But unlike last time, where Ruby was the angry one and Sapphire is trying to be the voice of reason, is reversed. Sapphire is angry, and I mean angry to the point where her voice is like booming with anger, and Ruby's trying to calm her down. Sapphire! Sapphire! Nice little role reversal. It's going to be interesting to watch that episode. Laffy Saffy! Laffy Saffy! Stop it! There's a little fan theory going along that Sapphire is going to, quote-unquote, be a traitor and tell the diamonds. I don't know if I'd go that far. Because of her future vision, I can see her to a point doing this, if it's the only course of action that leads to a favorable outcome, but we'll see how it goes. And of course, another thing I've noticed online is some people are questioning, how come Garnet didn't know this from the get-go? You would think with her vision. Hey, it's future vision, first of all. Second of all, she belonged to Blue Diamond, and based on the flashback we saw in the episode about Garnet's origins, it looks like Blue did not come to Earth either until after the quote-unquote shattering or a little bit before. I'd say afterwards, and this is probably to try to clean it up before they decided to do the corruption wave. And again, we're being told by Garnet, so maybe she's embellishing the story just a tad. It's one of those things that until we actually get a clear timeline of events, it's open to interpretation and speculation. But that's the way I view it, is that it happened after the shattering, but before they decided to do the corruption wave. Another little point of interest about this is that it raises a question about diamond shape-shifting and how long they can hold their form. Because we know from before that gems holding their form for too long can be dangerous. But Pink did it for thousands of years without consequence. Now, as we see when she's shape-shifting from Rose into Pink, she switches her diamond placement, so maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe making it in the same placement as a Rose Quartz gem. Maybe that helped, or maybe just Pink Diamond power. Which, of course, if that's the case, that raises the question, how come Steven couldn't stretch himself out? Is it he doesn't have the same amount of power as a normal diamond because he's half human? Or is maybe he hasn't mastered his powers to the point that he can hold it like that? I'm guessing maybe it's a little bit of both, and maybe also his organic part makes it a little iffy. It's one of those things that we're probably going to have to wait and see. I just can't wait for the next episodes because of how this one ended, and I really am looking forward to seeing what the ramifications are. Now, based on the little shot of the diamonds going there, that means that it might end without having to do a big old grand battle like we were expecting. However, we still have to take into account there still is White Diamond. We don't know where she is, but it could be the possibility she ends up being the main antagonist. So we might get a scene that's kind of similar to that one fan comic. We're here because you're holding rose quartz in your arms. Another thing that I'm going to end this off with is that this revelation now means that the whole time that they were fighting, Jasper was trying to shatter and defeat her own diamond. You gotta love ironic humor.